Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. I said I was going to do better about being visual in my videos. So I thought about it. I didn't forget. I am visual. This is your girl Cooking with Steph. Today is Tuesday. So we're going to keep it real simple. And we are going to do Taco Tuesday. This is a video. We can do a cooking tutorial out of this video because I will be cooking with you step by step on how to make Taco Tuesday. Okay, so here I have my choice of meat, which is ground turkey. And I have 2 packs of that. You use the meat amount according to your family size. My family size is 3. However, I'm using 2 packs, okay? We can always have some turkey, some taco meat left over. And we can take that taco meat that's left over, make a taco salad for lunch. Or we can take that taco meat left over, get a burrito shell, and make you a homemade burrito for lunch. There's a lot of things you can do with leftovers of taco meat, okay, ladies? And men that are following your girl Cooking with Steph. So I will season this fresh ground turkey with a little granulated onion powder, a little Lawry's, a little garlic powder, a little black pepper, and I will add in some taco seasoning just to give it that great taco flavor. I also like to use tomato sauce. I could either use tomato sauce or paste. It just gives that meat a whole lot more of homemade taco taste. Okay, so let's get started. I have my skillet here and it's preheating. Okay, so I'm going in. Let me grab my meat divider. For some reason, I always forget to grab my meat divider. In this case, I didn't grab a spoon either, but it's okay. We're gonna work with this. And I go in with my first pack of ground turkey. If I see that it's a little too difficult for me to separate, I will go ahead and get that divider. And we're gonna go in with the second pack of ground turkey. Get in there, baby. What are you doing? Let's turn that fire down on low. Make sure you take that off. Anytime you touch meat, you want to go ahead and wash your hands with some hot and soapy water. Okay? Bear with me, let me wash my hands. Okay, let me come through with my dish towel, which I have my dishwater freshly ran with a hint of bleach in there because I touched. My biggest thing is cross-contamination. So that's what we want to keep our focus on, okay? We want to cook safe. It's hot. Food is not lasting as it normally would, staying out. Okay. So I have my ground turkey in. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and season my meat. But before I season it, are y'all in this pot with me? There we are. Okay, so I have, and this one here is a little bit more frozen. So let's see if I can put that one more so at the bottom. I'm not taking any chances with meat. I bring it straight from the freezer, straight to the refrigerator, and I let it defrost that way. If you get to your meat at dinner time and it's still a little bit frozen, it's okay, because once it hits that heat, it's going to go ahead on and defrost for you. At least you know that you're safe from leaving meat out. So let's go ahead in with a little of garlic. Turkey meat is difficult to season. It's more hard to season than it is for ground beef, okay? The other thing with ground turkey, it does not produce its own oil, okay? So I'm going in with a little of OVV oil, and I'm just going to go around in a circle, okay? Going in next with a little of Lawry's. Don't need much, but you want that ground turkey to have a great taste. Nobody want no bland taco. Okay, that was onion powder. Corrections. This one is the garlic. Okay. I'm going in with a little of black pepper. I'm not using ground pepper flakes because it wouldn't have enough time to bake and dissolve as I would need for it to. So I'm using regular, already grounded black pepper. You know, the ones that we grew up on. You know, the kind that mama and grandmama used to use. Everybody just got a little bit more health conscious, a little bit more able to put on the table for our family what we want versus what we have. Okay? So this is what I mean by I'm not using the ground black pepper. You will see the difference in the coarse. It's really coarse. Okay? And we don't want that in our tacos. Nobody wants to bite that. Okay? So we can go ahead and we can turn the fire down. I am going to go ahead on and put my top on. That is cooking on about a 2 to 3. And now we're going to come over here. I'm going to bring you over here in a minute with me. And before I do that, let's go ahead on and preheat this oven. I thought I had some corn tortillas. However, I've used them all. So we're going to use flour soft tortillas for the shells. And I am also, because I happen to like crunchy corn shells, I'm going to throw a few of these in the oven. Okay, so I have preheated my oven, and now we're getting ready to work on the vegetables. While that meat is cooking, I'm going to go ahead on and bring you over here with me to this cutting board. If you can see on this cutting board, for the taco ingredients, I have some sharp cheddar cheese. I have some cilantro. I have an onion. I have some fresh lettuce. And I have tomatoes. Okay? First thing first, let's get into this onion. Why? Because I would like to put some in my ground turkey that's cooking. So I'm gonna go ahead on and get that onion ready. And I'm just gonna simply cut the tip off. And I'm simply just going to cut this onion in half. You use as much vegetables as you are making meat, okay? So I always just take that first layer. We wanna peel that off, okay? Make sure those horse pieces are out the way. Okay, so I have my onion. Let's go ahead on and rinse her off. Let me grab a towel to sit her on to be drying out. While I'm at it, let me go ahead on and get my tomato. For the amount of tacos that I will be using, I am going to go in and I will be using about 3 tomatoes. Okay? So I have, actually, yeah, about 3. Denise, can I get you to check on that rug, please? It's not balanced. Well, it balanced itself out. Pardon the noise in the background. I have a rug in the machine and it was not balanced. Okay. So I went ahead and rinsed off my tomatoes as well. Baby, if you can get my vegetable spinner for me, please. How's everyone week going thus far? Okay, can y'all see me here? I'm just going to simply slice up this onion. That oven is now preheated. So I'm just chopping up my vegetables that I will be using for our Taco Tuesday. When you get towards the end, be careful with your fingers. If you could bring that box, okay. Well, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, let me get these onions into this meat because it is cooking. So I'm just going to go in with maybe 2 to 3 spoons of these onions. I'm gonna bring you back over here to this pot for a minute. Okay, if you could just sit that there, I'll sit it here. I need you to take all that off. I need for it to be ready to go. Okay, are y'all back in this pot? Let's go ahead and take this junk, that's what I call it, it's junk. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take that junk off of our meat. We don't wanna eat that. And that's why I like to cook my turkey before adding all my goodies, all my vegetables to it, because we will have meat that you don't wanna eat that you're gonna throw away. Okay? So it's cooking. I've already seasoned it. I've now added in the onion. Now that I've added in the onion, we're still gonna go around the pot and make sure we cleaning it. Can y'all see that gookie? This is what I'm cooking off of my meat. You see that? We don't want that. So you're going to take time and you're going to cook your ground turkey down until all that comes off. Okay? And it comes off of any kind of ground turkey. It also comes off on turkey burgers. So when you're doing your burgers, make sure that you're cleaning your meat. Okay? And if I get to the point to where I see it's just too much and it's easier for me just to go ahead on and drain it, that's what I'm going to do at this point, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to drain that off real carefully so that my meat don't go down the drain. But for the most part, we have that ground turkey and it's clean. if you're cooking ground turkey and you're not taking that off, I don't want it. That's why I don't eat everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna bring y'all back just a little bit. And let's go ahead on and break this ground turkey up. Let's get those eggs incorporated really well. It's cooking well. You see that good golden on that bottom? That's why you want to turn it and continue to stir and mix well. I don't do all that until I've cleaned my meat really well, okay? And it looks like I am going to need my meat grinder. I'm very careful on what utensils I use with my cookware. You wouldn't go into that pot with a metal spoon at all. Okay. That's the other reason that you want to put that top on there, because that top is going to steam it and cook it so that you can clean it. Now let's place that lid back on and let's go ahead with cutting up the vegetables. Since that oven is preheated, let's go ahead and get that cookie sheet ready. Get that cookie sheet ready for the shells. And when I get close to having those tacos done, I will then at that time, and while I'm putting the seasoning in, let's go ahead on and put my taco mix in. McCormick has gotten too expensive, but I think that's where we spend the majority of our money at. What we say? On groceries, on dining out, because we know everything is at an all-time high. So I'm just going to place the lid on it. And that is just a seasoning, and it is by McCormick. You can use any brand or not. Okay. Sweetie, can you turn the air on, please? Okay, so if you noticed, I did not stir that particular last ingredient of seasoning in. Why? Because I just wanted to cook into the top of that meat. And it will melt down into the bottom of that meat. At this point, I can go ahead and have my fire on low, which I'm gonna have it on a 2. Okay? Now come on over here with me. Let's get these vegetables sliced and diced and ready. Okay? Mentioning vegetables, let me go ahead on and get my container ready. So after I slice my vegetables, I can go ahead on and put them in the tray. Okay? So being that I have my onions already sliced and diced, I'm going to go ahead on and put these onions into the dish container, the Tupperware. Okay? And I'm going to just keep those to the side. I'll show you why I'm keeping those to the side, okay? Next, we're going to go ahead and we are going to get the cilantro. Let's do the cilantro, okay? So I'm just going to simply cut this cilantro. I'm going to just go ahead on and cut this at the bottom. The reason I cut it at the bottom versus the top, that's where your stem is at. Where your stem is at. You can go ahead on and grab from that stem about how much cilantro you want. I guess if I take the little wrap off, I don't like when they put those wraps on there, but they do. Okay, we're weeding through. If you see anything in that cilantro that does not look good at that time, you can go ahead and you can bring it out. So I see a few pieces in here that's not as fresh as I need it to be. So we're just gonna go ahead on and toss that to the side. The rest will come out in the rinse. Okay? So I'm gonna throw this part out because I have the wrapper in there. And I don't want that wrapper to go into my garbage disposal, okay? So let's go ahead and let's rinse the cilantro. And we're gonna rinse this with cold water for our vegetables. We're rinsing off our vegetables in cold water, okay? Smells so good. I absolutely love cilantro. Who else enjoys cilantro? Well, I have it, and I like it in my tacos. Okay, so let me go ahead and get my towel. And I'm just gonna simply take this cilantro and I'm gonna place it in this towel, and I'm just gonna, that's to dry it, okay? Now that I have it pretty much dried, see how it came out in that little circle? That's perfect for you to go ahead on and cut up, okay? So I'm just gonna bundle it up as much as I can, and we're simply just slicing I, for some reason, like to work with a smaller knife versus the really big knives. Smells really good. And yes, I do cut my stems up in them. When I get the large stems, I go ahead and I take it off. Okay, we have our cilantro there, cut up. And again, the onion that we put in there. I am such a bad camera person. I'm working on me a photographer. I have been working on several things. I'm working on several things right now. So when I'm not on live with you, just know your girl Cooking with Steph is working behind the scene. Okay? I have here my cilantro, and I put it in with that little bit of onion. And all you do is you just take that and you just mix it together really well. Those long stems like that, go back on the cutting board. You want to make sure that those onions are mixed in really well. We have big pieces like that, back on the cutting board. Okay, so we have our cilantro and our onion ready. Okay, so we're going to just keep that to the side. We're going to add all of our ingredients in. And this time you can also, when you mix it together really well, you'll see what needs to come out of that cilantro that's not fresh. Okay, so let's keep moving. We're going in next with the tomatoes. Okay, being that I'm using tomatoes and I've already rinsed those tomatoes off, let's go ahead and get our tomatoes ready. And I'm just simply cutting off that stem. Okay, y'all with me, or am I in your way? Let's try this. Are y'all with me? Okay, can y'all see that board? Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead on and slice my tomatoes. When I get a piece that's really thick like that, some remove the seeds from their tomatoes and some don't. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. So we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna slice these thinly. And the reason why I don't take and remove the seed part, and if you want to, all you do is you just cut that part off, okay? And then you don't have that stem. So if I have some that's really beefy and juicy, I'll pop me a little salt and pepper on those, and I just eat them raw. I love tomatoes. And yes, tomatoes can be eaten raw as a raw vegetable. We throw them in salads, we throw them in soups, we throw them in all type of entrees. In this particular case, that small knife is working me, so I'm gonna go ahead up with a bigger blade. Okay. Next, I will be grating the cheese and washing and doing the lettuce. Slicing that lettuce. Or should I say shredding it. I like my lettuce shredded for tacos. May not have had, it's okay. Because like I said, I put salt and pepper on my tomatoes and enjoy. Okay. This is my last tomato. This one has a lot of meat and juice in it. What I mean by when I catch them like that and they have a lot of meat in there, I just take and put me on a sprinkle of kosher salt over that tomato. I take and I use a little bit of black pepper and I put on that tomato, and I just simply pop it on in my mouth. That's what it looks like with the salt and pepper, and it's delicious. I can actually get full on raw vegetables and be good on dinner. Okay, let's finish slicing up this tomato. And I eat me a little piece of raw tomatoes every time I'm cutting them up. I do. Okay. Let's go ahead and get these into the bowl. It's the container. We're going to check on that meat in a minute. And I am just going to simply go ahead and get these in the bowl. And I'm putting them on the opposite side of the Tupperware. Fresh tomatoes. And you see how majority of the juice stayed on that board. So we're building our tray for our tacos. Okay, let's move on to the next vegetable. Let me clean as I go bear with me, give me a few minutes to clean, please. And I'm simply just going to rinse that off just with some plain hot water. How I clean my board. Okay. Let all the water drain off. And I go with a dry dish towel. And I just dry it. Wiping my surface off. Okay, let's get to this lettuce. Have the lettuce. My coffee pot is hot. And I had my lettuce lined up there, trying to figure out why is my lettuce wrapper hot. Okay, so I have a head of lettuce, and I'm simply just going to slice this down the middle. Because I only need about a half of it. Okay? So I can either use the smaller piece or the bigger piece. And I'm going to go ahead in with the larger piece. We're going to peel that core off. Okay? Just taking the core off prior to washing it. Okay, let me grab my towel. Have that ready for once I wash it really well. I can sit it on top of that towel to collect that excess water. Are y'all with me in this thing? So you just want to make sure that that lettuce gets washed really well. Make sure it's all clean in between those cracks and holes that you see there. And you're just going to simply turn it over. Give it a good squeeze. Shake it. Same thing for that lettuce. We're just going to wrap it in there and allow it to dry. When I'm really running short for time and I don't really have a lot of time to do all that, I do have a salad spinner, but I usually only use my salad spinner when I'm making large salads for events or for dinners. And you just simply place that lettuce after being washed into this spinner, hit that thing a few times, and it drains all of the water off of your salad, because we don't want water in our salad. That water being in our salad will make the salad go soggy before it gets to the event or to your table. And this just is the salad spinner, okay? Being that I'm just using a little bit of lettuce for our tacos, I'm just going to go ahead and by hand, it's on one half already of the towel, so we're just gonna fold it. Give it a good, all that water is into the paper towel. It's damp, so we know we have all of that water out. If you want to do it twice, you can. Okay, let's go ahead and shred this lettuce. You're just going to go ahead and you're going to hold it as you would like a ball. And you want to just thinly shred this lettuce. Keeping it centered so you don't have a mess to clean up after cooking. Okay? And And I'm just thinly shredding this lettuce that's been washed and cleaned. Okay. Yes, I like to use that. That's where our nutrients is. Lettuce is mainly water. You're not going to get much nutritional value from lettuce, okay? But we don't want it to be wet. Okay, so I'm just going to simply go ahead on and take my lettuce and put that in the center of this Tupperware. And we have built our Tupperware, built our bowl for our taco ingredients. We have the tomatoes, we have the lettuce, we have the cilantro, and we have the onion. Good to go, okay? If you would like avocado, I also can slice up some avocado. Today I'm not using avocado because I have a avocado sauce that I want to use, okay? So I'm just gonna take what's left over of my lettuce and I'm gonna put it in a Ziploc bag. What I have left of this onion is also going on that side of that Ziploc bag. And we're gonna let all the air out, zip it, and it's going back in the fridge for the next meal, okay? Come back. All right, let's wipe this board off. Lastly, let's do and grate up this sharp cheddar cheese. But before I do that cheese, let me get over here. Let's check on this pot. Let's check on this pot. And this is what she looks like. We're stirring and we're breaking down our ground turkey at the same time. That taco seasoning is still sitting on top and it is giving that meat a wonderful flavor. I don't really have to mix it, but I am. If I mix it and I see that the bottom of my meat is still unseasoned, I'm gonna do a taste test and see if I actually need to go in with my second package of seasoning. Let's just have a little taste. Let's not get the one that has obviously enough. I want to taste it at this time and see if I need to go in with the second pack of seasoning. It's very bland to me. I will be going in with the second pack of taco seasoning. I'm also missing that taste of garlic. Add in a little more garlic. Being that I'm not making this spicy by adding in any peppers, red crushed peppers, jalapeno peppers. That flavor is inside of here. I see pockets. Just get you a spoon and move those flavors into there, okay? At this time, I am going to add in my last ingredient, that tomato paste I mentioned. Okay, gonna shake that baby, shake it, shake it, shake it. And let's get her in there. I always add tomato paste or either, let's rinse the top off. We always want to rinse our tops off of our lids. Oh yeah, that meat is very bland. Why am I finna open that with the can opener? So like I said, when I'm not live or I'm not running reels as y'all are used to me running, just bear with me, stay tuned. Like I said, I'm working behind the scene on a few things. I have a team that I am training currently to be totally ready when I get ready to do my catering events when I'm booked, when I do my pop-ups at different events. I am also currently working on my cookbook, and it takes time to sit down and write out every single ingredients for as simple as a meatloaf. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just put the top back on there. Allow that to continue to cook. Turning that handle out the way. That oven is preheated. Let's go ahead in and get the shells in the oven. Again, don't play with me like you have never used a box shell before. We didn't grow up on these. I don't believe they had these when Mama was making tacos, but they have them now. And being that I didn't have any taco shells, these are what I will be using. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it at the bottom, being very careful not to crack those shells. So let me just get the end of it cut off. I'm going to cut the side as well. And I'm going to let those shells go onto this cookie sheet. We're going to space it out so that each one is cooked separately. I am going to take and I'm going to add a little oil over those shells, and I'll put those shells in the oven. Let's grab the oil, and I am simply going to drizzle oil over my shells as if they were cooked in oil. Don't need much. About that much will do. Wipe it off my container. I like to clean as I go. Okay, the oven is preheated. Let's get those taco shells in the oven, and let's grate this cheese up so we can do what? Sit down and enjoy our Taco Tuesday. In the oven, they'll go for about 8 minutes. Okay? Just going to take the remainder of the shells, place them in a Ziploc, still in the plastic container. Again, we're going to let that air out, fold it, and zip it. Okay. So y'all have y'all eye, y'all watching that ground turkey for me. It's just simmering at this time. That tomato sauce at this point is having a chance to blend in with all of the flavors, and it's going to give you a nice taco meat, especially for turkey. I do it for turkey or ground beef. I always add. My mom always did, and I always do as well, okay? Trust me, we'll taste the difference. Let's get this vegetables that was left over that did go into the drain. And while I'm doing that, let's get the cilantro back in the fridge. Actually, it can go right on in this bag that we have over here for the leftover all in one bag. I'm gonna tuck it closer to the side with the lettuce, fold it over, in the fridge she goes. Okay. Let me clear the drain with these vegetables. Give me one moment. Okay, I have that drain cleaned. I'll come back and I'll clean that up later. Let's go ahead and move forward with getting our cheese ready for our Taco Tuesday. When those shells come out and I grate this cheese up, dinner is done. And for whatever reason it is, I just have a big problem with seeing things in my dish rack. And I know I'll put it up there. And it's just the cilantro from the pack. However, I don't like to see it, so I'm gonna go ahead on and rinse that down. This cup towel is damp. I don't like damp cup towels. So I'm gonna just go ahead and throw this one back for the laundry, and let me go ahead on and grab another dry towel. Our meat is cooking. It's on low. It's simmering. When you get to this point, you want to go ahead and you want to blend everything in together so that everything is marinated. I feel like y'all are a little too close on me. Can you give me a little space, please? Allow your girl a little working room. Y'all can still see in there, yeah. You see how that tomato sauce changed the texture up on that meat? That's why I always add a can of tomato paste or sauce, whichever one I have on hand. Okay? Remember, this ground turkey has no grease in it. Okay? Has no grease in it. Cooks up really well. That's why I believe that ground turkey is a lot more difficult to season than it is ground beef, in my opinion. Okay, so I have that marinated, and that taco meat is done. That taco meat is done. I'm gonna leave her on simmer until I get that cheese and everything else together. At this time, I'm just gonna go in with a sprinkle of fresh cilantro and just gonna put the top on it and allow that cilantro flavor to go ahead on and cook into that. meat, okay? So let's come on over here while that's simmering. You want to remember, presentation is everything. And it's real easy to wipe off a hot pot. Wipes off really well, okay? And presentation, okay? Turning that handle out the way, okay? So I'm going to bring you on over here with me as we grate up this cheese. That is about the last thing that we need to do to get these tacos together. Keep in mind you have those shells in the oven. The oven is already preheated, so it's not going to take those long to cook. I will be using these shells for the soft taco lovers, and they're just simply flour shells. Those are for the soft taco lovers, okay? Okay, let's switch directions for a minute. Just gonna bring you back over here with me. We're gonna grate this cheese, and we will be done with the ingredients needed to roll those, to make those tacos, okay? Sharp cheese is a little bit harder to cut than the regular cheddar, okay? So I'm just going to, again, y'all know we are cheese lovers over here, so I'm just going to use about that much. And I'm going to move your angle so that you can see the board versus me. Okay? So you just want to put your cheese grater in the middle. And I'm using a thick slice blade. Doesn't matter, you could use the whatever size you want, depending on the cheese size that you want. You put that in the middle so that when you're done grating that cheese, and if I was making quesadillas, I would take those thick slices right there and just put them on in the middle. Okay? So just remove that from the top. Bump it a couple times. And there you are. The cheese is grated. I'm going to have a look in here at the taco shell. Giving my hands a wash. Then we're going to place that cheese in a bowl. Place it on the table along with the other ingredients. Let me have an eye at these shells. Oh yeah, they're toasting up nice. Okay. Just going to simply take the leftover cheese. At this time, I'm going to remove it from this plastic and just go ahead and put it in my Ziploc, closing the air, folding it, and we have our leftover vegetables ready to go in the fridge. We have our cheese grated. That was the final ingredient. Let's get this cheese in a bowl. Actually, I think it'll be easier to do it on a plate because we don't want it to be packed. We want it to be loose. And I absolutely love sharp cheddar cheese. I love cheese, period. I just mix things up sometimes. Okay, so we have our sides all sliced, diced, and ready to go. At this time, let me go ahead on and wipe off my cutting board. I'm gonna put this over here in the rack. And I'm going to go ahead and bring over the ingredients and just have them here. Y'all remember when we wiping off our countertops? We're wiping and we're drying. We're not leaving it wet. Why? We don't want it to gather bacteria. Okay? There's our ingredients for our tacos. And we're good to go. The reason I said that I was not going to add fresh avocado, I have these two sauces and they're both avocado based. Work smart, baby, not hard. Okay, there's your avocado for your tacos. Okay, so let's get back over here and let's get back to the stove if we can. Okay, so what I'm going to do at this time, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the soft shells. Okay, so I'm just simply, can y'all see that? Okay, so I have the soft shells. I am just simply going to turn my fire on my range, and I'm just going to place those there. Allow those to warm up. Have my cookie sheet, my cutting board over there for this reason. That water is hot coming out that pot. Some of that water from the top drizzled down on me. There is our finished results of that taco meat. That shell is hot, placing it right on that cutting board. And I'm also going to go ahead and bring out my crispy shells in the oven. Let me grab a dry towel. Let's bring out those shells. Those shells are done. Okay. Let those cool off while we work on these soft shells. Okay, we have those soft shells hot and ready. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the fire off. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to roll up a soft taco. Normally, I would take the shells, and I believe I will go ahead and do the same. I'm just going to simply take these flour shells, and I'm just going to cut those in half. They're still hot. Just put our towel on there. And we just want to cut those in the middle. Maybe if I level it, Okay? Now, Denise, can you get the sour cream out, please? Okay. So I'm going to place that there. I'm going to place a plate here. I'm going to move our toppings on over here. I'm going to bring you back a little bit so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. And I'm going to put that on top of here and work from here. So that made the soft taco shell. You can also cut that again in 4s. It just depends on how small or how big you want your tacos, okay? Just get to, can y'all see in this pan? You want to drain the water off of that for me, please? I don't want to burn my cutting board. Okay, so we're good to go. I'm going to turn that down just on simmer. I'm just going to get a scoop of taco meat. I see a piece that's still kind of whole. Not meaning that it's not cooked. It was just still whole. Okay, so we're going to get about that much of taco meat on our shell. And we're going to put that taco meat right in the center of that shell. Okay? We're going to put our taco meat right in the center of that shell. I'm going to add in just a little bit of water, about that much. I like my tacos to be a little juicy. Okay? No, you don't want to add chicken broth or anything like that. That'll make it too salty. So I'm just adding in a little water. It's nice and thick. This meat sauce is nice and thick. And it's going to dissolve perfectly. I'm going to place the lid back on and allow that to continue. No, she wouldn't. If you could teach these kids to clean as they go, their room would stay clean, wouldn't it? I don't do that dirty room stuff, and yes, I still do room checks, period. Okay, now we have that in there. We're going to take and we're going to put our cheese next to our meat. It helps the cheese to melt. We're going to put our cheese next to our meat. And at this time, everyone can add on their taco what they like and what they don't like. Okay, I'm going to add some lettuce right on in the center. Okay, it's a great way to sneak in the vegetables for the kids, okay? Give them a little extra lettuce and tomato. Okay, so I'm going to add the tomatoes. So everything is going right in the center. Okay. And that, my darling, is a homemade soft taco. And I'm going to hit it with a little 2-loop of Dolly. I know my granddaughter absolutely loves sour cream. So that little 2-loop is not going to work for her. So we're going to give her a big scoop. Okay, I don't have time for that. And this is my soft taco supreme. And all you have to do is roll her up, hold her individually, and bite into that lush. Lenise, come on, baby, dinner's ready. Those are my soft taco supremes. Thanks for joining your girl Cooking with Steph. Dinner is ready. Dinner has been served. If she wants to have avocado, which I don't believe she will, but if she do, she can just add that avocado right on top of there. You want avocado? Okay, come on, baby. Let me turn my camera, say hello to my granddaughter's niece. And I can't put that camera on her because she is in the house and she is not properly dressed. So we're gonna do a hand exchange. Dinner's ready and dinner is served.
Thank you, Grandma.
You're so welcome, sweetheart. You say you didn't want any?
Avocado?
Uh-huh.
No, I'm okay.
Okay, you want some fresh lime juice squeezed on there?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, Grandma.
You're welcome. There's juice in the fridge. There's Gatorade. And there's Pepsi. Want Pepsi?
I got some water.
You'll have some what?
Some water.
When you start them off young on water, that one prefers water over dinner. I'm sorry, she prefers water over pop. Kool-Aid. Okay, so I'm gonna just bring you over here really quick and just to, if I can get this angle like I want, I'm gonna go ahead on and take it off of there. Thanks for joining your girl Cooking with Steph. If I could figure out how to transfer, and I wasn't able to. When cooking is your passion, and your passion is cooking, there it is. Thanks for joining. Good night, everyone. From my house to yours, hugs and loves. I'm getting like the kids now, I believe, because everything I put on is twisted to one side or the other. But that's okay. It's on, and I'm loving me today.